Is Bitcoin potentially forming a bull flag right here, right now? Or on the contrary, may this just in fact be the top before a dive deep down into the crypto abyss? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing inside the chart right now. Over the past 72 hours, we've been met with a ton of volatility within this very tight and interesting range. And my friends, even more so than the volatility, which has been brought about, in my opinion, by liquidation hunter bots and stop loss hunter bots, which we'll explain. The more important factor here, the gem, the diamond in the rough, if you will, is the pattern that we're forming right here, right now, at a critical area in the trend. So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the 4-hour time frame. Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, we are still on our lower high trajectory, which is inherently bearish, and even more so when coupled with the fact that we still are, for the time being, potentially on a lower low trajectory as well. We did stick in a double bottom here, which is nice and could signal a potential trend reversal, but this doesn't mean as much to me yet as much as the lower high trajectory means, right? I don't want to see a double bottom and get all bullish here because we still are on a lower high trajectory. But let's look into what's happening now in the immediate trend up inside this range. So we have been rejected now twice. We ran up here. This, to me, ladies and gentlemen, was just a bunch of bots, a bunch of hullabaloo garbaggio from the liquidation hunters. And then we dumped back down to what, in my opinion, was the average range for trading. We had another liquidation hunt here, another fake out, and then we stuck in our next top. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting for me here, is because now we had our macro lower high, and then another series of several lower highs here before dumping back down to our support line where we are currently trading at right now. So when we look at this, let's draw some lines here. When we draw this line here, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a look at what we have. Let's make this yellow for the time being. What we're looking at here is certainly a series of micro lower highs, right? But what we have to keep in mind here is the fact that a ton of the trading action has happened around this red line of support that I have here. And I have it actually drawn red, right? Normally support for me is green, like this box here. But right now I actually have this line drawn as red because to me, this is more so an area where if it dumps below, we could see some heinous selling action, not only by humans, but by bots as well, as this would be a loss of the local support level. And I really like this here on the 4-hour time frame, multiple touch points at this point in time. But if we do actually go out to the daily as well and we zoom in here on the daily, I want you all to notice that the last 2 days, the bodies of this wick were right around this, the bodies of this wick, the bottoms, wow, the bodies of these candles and the wick of this third candle is all around this level. So we have 3 significant zones of interest for me here on the daily, let alone on the 4-hour. We have many touch points here as well. Let's get this crypto. Now, is it possible here that what we're forming is a consolidation bull flag that is ready to break out to the upside. So let's look at what's going on here, all right? So say this is a bull flag, right? Well, we have to take our flagpole, and the flagpole would be from the bottom there. You know what? Let's be conservative. I was going to take it from that bottom wick there, but I think it's better to take it from the consolidation point. Let's take it from there. We'll draw it to our current top. We're going to drag this over to where the tentative breakout point would be, which would be, let's bring it right above here, and let's zoom out. Well, if this were to play out, ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing here from a extrapolated measured move standpoint would potentially be to a new yearly high, per this extrapolation here, somewhere around the $15,000 region. Now, before you get on that train, oh Kirby, so we're going to 15,000. Oh, that is not at all what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I think that is rather ridiculous to come to conclusions like that without examining further. So let's dive in here. Now we see that this trend in a micro sense has been bearish here, right? Because we ran up, got rejected, and we have not been able to eclipse the prior high, creating a series of lower highs. Albeit the one bullish factor here is that we still are maintaining our level of support here at the red line at about 11,450. Let's look into our RSIs now to see if we can find a different story. Well, here on the 4-hour, for me, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually changed the trend here, right? We were seeing a series of higher lows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 higher lows in a row, and now we've broke it here and broke it here again. So this trend on the 4-hour has changed, and I would say the momentum here has certainly gone back in favor of the bears. If we look at the 1-day, very similar, ladies and gentlemen, that we were on a nice uptrend here with higher lows, but we since broke to a lower low here and a lower low here on a macro level. Also, now, if we look at the weekly, I also do not want you to forget, ladies and gentlemen, on the weekly time frame, we are very, very close here to overbought conditions, roughly at a 69 at the time of recording. 70 begins overbought conditions. Let's get this crypto. And if we look at the NVT as well, right? This is a very unique time for the NVT here, but now, theoretically, old support loves to become new resistance, right? And we have all of our historic support here around the 150 level. And what do you know, ladies and gentlemen? Ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. We are finding a little bit of resistance right here, right now at this old support level. I'm going to continue monitoring it, but for the time being, a break below this level, a retest, and now finding resistance upon this range is looking like a classic bearish formation, in my opinion. Let's get this crypto. So now, back to the charts here. The 4-hour, it looks, when you look at it, right, there's a lot of candles here and a lot of, like I stated earlier, liquidation hunts and stop loss hunter bots just going wild inside this range, liquidating over leveraged traders, punishing those with tight stop losses. It's fine if you were a victim inside this range, ladies and gentlemen. I know I got stopped out on some trades in here, took very tight stop losses with high reward, low risk trade setups in here where I was risking very little to gain a potential lot. And what wound up happening here, I got stopped here. The thing is that that's what happens. And don't feel discouraged, right? Because many bought long up in here, got wrecked and punished, right? Many went short in here, wrecked and punished. But if you keep tight stop losses long term, right? If you're playing high reward, low risk trade setups, this is just part of everyday business. And when you get these hunts in here, you hope to not get caught in the middle of it, but sometimes they do, especially when these wicks, ladies and gentlemen, are ripping up over 6% in just mere minutes. It's very difficult to not get caught in them if you are playing the range at all. Let's get this crypto. So moral of the story here, don't be discouraged if you've lost trades in this range. Tomorrow is always brighter than yesterday, and you need to learn from your experience. Put the battle helmet back on, the mud boots, and the trench coat, because it's time to get this crypto. It's time to get back on the horse, get ready for your next trade, and get ready to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. You guys know I keep you updated with all of my personal trades in VIP in real time to the exact second that I take my trades, formulate my strategies, etc. So if you do want to see how I'm trading in real time, I will keep you updated in VIP. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. But now let's look here, right? I just showed you the 4-hour shows all of this chop and madness. But if we go out to the 1 day now, what we can see here is that the story doesn't look so choppy, right? It doesn't look as difficult here as what we're seeing. In fact, it more so just looks like a consolidation below a resistance level. But what's getting interesting to me here, right, is we have our parabolic trend line that's been, held to a T, ladies and gentlemen, minus, really just one wick here. We've held this line for a very long time now, going all the way back to July 19th. We have not broken this trend line. I mean, it should break at some point, right? And what I'm starting to see here now is that if Bitcoin does continue to consolidate like this, ladies and gentlemen, and move upwards just a little bit, we might start to form a rising wedge pattern here. I mean, not even might start to form. I mean, it may just come to absolute fruition, right? You see what's forming here, in my opinion, and we may wind up getting to the tip of this here and looking for a breakdown, right? This would also coincide with this region here of tentative resistance right now. You see, we're in that box. We're still on our lower high trajectory. And although this could be a bull flag, right, that you could certainly see this. But when you look at all of the bearish factors here, I'm starting to see that this could be a rising wedge that's ready to break down. And if this is, in fact, going to break down, well, where may our targets be? And for this, I want to show you guys something interesting. If we go back to the 4-hour now, I want to flip on our moving averages. Right here, I have the 50, the 100, and the 200 moving average. But for the sake of this, I'm actually going to remove the 50 and the 100. This leaves us with our teal line here, which is the 200 moving average, right? And I want you guys to look back at this here, all the way to the bottom of the bear market. This line has been very significant. The price has loved to use this line all throughout. And you can see here, it starts really, let's start it from when the uptrend started. So right here, all since back then, support, retest, support, 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 rips above, dumps, support, rips above, dumps, support, rips above, dumps, support, rips way above, right? Then we have our first major sell-off after hitting 14,000. Where does it go? Right back down near this level, support, rips back up, drops, and for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, it drops below. Then we retest back up, new resistance upon the level, dumps, retest backs up, new resistance upon that level, drops, resistance, then back tests as support, and then right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have surpassed this region once again. But the important thing here before we continue is I want you to understand the amount of confluence along this 200 moving average. You see this, right? So now, where we stand currently, the 200 moving average is significantly lower than the price right now, right? The 200 moving average is currently around 10,720, but I believe if we can hold up and around this region for the next several days, what we're probably going to see is that this snakes all the way up, at least close to my green box of support here, right? And this green box of support for me is between roughly, 10,900 all the way up to 11,200. And if we do, in fact, see that this comes up into this range, it will also coincide with our two prior peaks here, our double Fibonacci, right? Where old resistance may then, in fact, look to become new support. Also coinciding with a bunch of historic price action over here. And then tentatively, our 200 4-hour moving average. Let's get this crypto. You guys see that, right? And also now, we just looked at the 200 there on the 4-hour time frame, which is tentatively going to act as new support in this range if it climbs up there. What we can also see here is if we go to the daily, I'm going to now actually remove this one and put the 50 back. The 50 moving average has been very relevant here as well for the daily time frame. As you can see, it's loved to act as support the whole way, right, ladies and gentlemen? It's actually only dumped below this one time here, right? And we dumped below, back above, dump below, and then it did act as resistance right here, and now we're above again. So as this one-day moving average on the 50 has acted as support for so long, I do really, really love the fact here that it's climbing up almost into our green box of tentative support right here, right now. Let's get this crypto. So I am also seeing potential support being built on that 4-hour, by the moving averages on both the 4-hour time frame and the one-day time frame. Let's get this crypto. So even if right now, right, that we see this rising wedge bearish pattern break down, let's take a measured move, okay, from the widest part here. Let's actually draw this down to our widest part of the formation there. We'll drag this over to the tentative breakout points, and what do you know, ladies and gentlemen, ding ding ding, chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. The measured move there, right, the widest part of the formation from the breakout point there brings us right down to my green box of tentative support, which also coincides with that one-day 50 moving average that may tentatively be in that range at that point in time, and the 4-hour 200 moving average, which may be in that range at that point in time. Let's get this crypto. So say it does break down, right? This could be very micro bearish, but if it holds here, I see that we could be creating a larger macro bull flag here, right? Let our RSIs cool off. Let all the indicators, in fact, cool off, right? And let's see if we can chop around this region to create that bull flag to the upside. That is potential that I'm seeing right now, that this could wind up being a very bullish pattern here. Of course, it has not been confirmed yet at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen. Do not look at this and get all moon boy on me. Do not get all moon boy on Don Carbaraccio, because this is a channel for realists, right? Sure, we all want to be moon boys, right? Ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you've been subscribed to this stream, I popularized the term moon boy many months ago. Now everybody you know uses the term, right? Same thing with degenerates. I used to say moon boy degenerates all the time, and then everybody and their brother is now saying moon boy and degenerate. It's crazy, right? Everybody secretly listens to the Don. And what I'm telling you right now is that although we do appear to be micro bearish in my opinion, I see that this does have potential upside room for the short term, potentially before a breakdown. But if we do break down, which may be devastating, right? Say we climb up to the top of this box again, over 12,000, and then dump something like 8 to 10%, many would get wrecked here. But in the grand scheme of things here, if we look at this from a zoomed out perspective, it's very possible that we could look to be forming a longer term bull flag here, forming support along this green box of support here, right? Building upon our old resistance into new support, also with our moving averages, and then look to continue to true new highs from this region. Let's get this crypto. So that's really the peaches and cream. But what happens if we dump, ladies and gentlemen? What happens if we drop below this region, right? Because the green is not, it doesn't have to hold, right? And all of these scenarios I've just pointed out is if this region holds. But what if it doesn't? Let's briefly and quickly discuss this. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up. Smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Sheesh. So if we drop below the red line, right? This red line for me is at roughly 11,450. If we drop below this local support here, which I pointed out in the beginning of the stream, it would not surprise me to test down to the green box, potentially to the bottom of it. We could be in for a small dump. Now, if we do drop below this region, ladies and gentlemen, below the green box is where things get very, very interesting, because there is not that much in terms of support below this range. And as we all know, we still are on a lower high trajectory, which means that the selling pressure and the bears may get very exuberant under this range. And just to even the previous bottom, ladies and gentlemen, is roughly almost a 17% decline from the bottom of this box. Heinous, ludicrous, and a borderline debacle, if you do in fact ask me. And right now, if we drop below this, ladies and gentlemen, the bears may look to get very, very aggressive here. The point being here is that right now we are at a a point in the trend here where things are changing. This is a transitional period in the trend, in my opinion. And many right now are going to get wrecked here, ladies and gentlemen. Many are not able to formulate plans here to allow them to succeed, right? And my saying that I always tell you guys, if you fail to plan, then your plan is to fail. Don Carbonaccio does not fail to plan. Don Carbonaccio plans to succeed. Right now, I'm planning for all the scenarios that I've just outlined, right? All these moon boys and degenerates, they'll come on the stream. Oh, Kirby, so you say it can go up or it can go down? That's technical analysis, James. You click on these analyses, you don't even understand what technical analysis is. It could go up or it could go down. Yes, my friend, I'm not here to predict the future. I'm here to look at the price action and find high reward, low risk trade setups, you degenerate. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, as I see what's going on here and how the trend is developing, Don Carbonaccio is planning to succeed here. I see that a potentially large market movement in one direction or the other is really potentially looming in the shadows here right now. And I'm looking to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can with high reward, low risk trade setups. And I'm going to continue to keep you all updated in VIP around the clock, 24/7 with all of my trade setups, my entries, my exits, my targets, my strategies, etc. All for you in real time to the absolute second in VIP. So shout out to my VIPs and shout out to all of my new future VIPs joining VIP right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. My friends, like I stated earlier, I still see that there could be some potential further micro upside action, but be aware that this parabolic trend line may not be able to hold much longer. We are also squeezing into a potential rising wedge bearish formation here. But if these key levels here at the red line, roughly 11,450, and then the green box between 11,200 and 10,900, if this region can hold, it's potentially an area that we could look to form a bull flag, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, Don Carbonaccio is keeping his finger on the pulse of this market, 24/7, 365. If you take your eyes off this market, ladies and gentlemen, poof. It can all happen in the blink of an eye. Right now, I'm ready to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. And if you want to see all of my trades, all of my trade setups, entries, exits, targets, and where I take my profits in absolute real time, then I will be posting it for you in VIP, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not get caught like a deer in the headlights here. Do not be taking that trip to Wrecked City if the outcome that you're not expecting happens, right? You think it's all bullish. Oh, Kirby, we're going to the moon, and I'm hoping. Hope does nothing for you in these markets, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely ludicrous to think hope can do anything for you inside this market. What needs to be accepted here in your mind, if you've been a degenerate lifelong losing player here, right, is that you need to learn to adjust to the current market conditions. And right now, my friends, I see we're in that transitional period. I'm ready to keep adjusting my strategy as I feel necessary and whatever I need to do to crush this market and get this crypto. And I'll be posting all of that for you in VIP in real time. So don't get wrecked here. Don't get caught like a deer in the headlights. Today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs and shout out to all of my new future VIPs joining VIP right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. So guys, it has been my absolute pleasure. If you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Prepare, ladies and gentlemen. I believe an absolutely massive, heinous market movement is looming in the shadows. Are you going to get caught like a deer in the headlights, or are you going to be the one that crushes this market and gets this crypto? The choice is yours. I will see you in VIP right now. Shout out to all of my new future VIPs joining VIP right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.